Behind the bright lights of the White House press room, a heartbreaking secret has been tearing a family apart. Peter Doocy, the Fox News reporter famous for asking the tough questions, has been living a private nightmare. Whispers of his wife, Hillary Vaughn's tragic diagnosis, have been spreading like wildfire, followed by shocking rumors of his departure from the network. Is he really saying goodbye to it all? The truth is far more complicated and shocking than anyone imagined. For months, the internet has been buzzing with terrifying stories about Peter Doocy's wife, Hillary Vaughn. These stories paint a picture of a young family in crisis facing a secret health battle that has remained hidden from the public eye. According to multiple reports, Hillary has been dealing with a serious, unnamed illness. The details are scarce, but the message is clear. Something is terribly wrong. The most frightening of these rumors claim that Hillary has been battling cancer. These reports suggest a long and difficult struggle that has tested the couple's strength and resilience. Some stories even give specific chilling details, claiming that Hillary underwent a major surgery in April 2022. The idea of a young mother going through such an ordeal is heartbreaking, and it has left fans and viewers deeply concerned for the family's well-being. But as people tried to learn more, the story only became more confusing. Other reports began to surface that directly contradicted the cancer narrative. Some sources claimed that Hillary Vaughn isn't facing any serious health issues at all and is perfectly healthy. This created a storm of confusion. How could two completely opposite stories be circulating at the same time? Was she sick or was she not? The mystery deepened as some websites couldn't even get her name right, referring to Peter's wife as Amanda, Helen, or Rachel, adding another layer of uncertainty to the already puzzling situation. The conflicting information left everyone wondering what was really going on behind closed doors. Was the Doocy family hiding a devastating secret, or was this all just a terrible misunderstanding? The answer, it turns out, is a little bit of both. The story of a tragic diagnosis in the Doocy family is absolutely true. But everyone has been looking at the wrong person. If you think you know the truth, wait until you hear what really happened. While the world speculated about their private struggles, Peter Doocy and Hillary Vaughn were quietly building a life together, a life they guarded fiercely from the public eye. Their love story began where they spent most of their time, at work. Both are accomplished journalists at Fox News. Peter started at the network in 2009, right after graduating from college, and Hillary joined the Fox business desk in 2016. She had previously been part of the second class of Fox News Junior Reporter program, where she was stationed in Manchester, New Hampshire to gain on-the-ground reporting experience. 4 years, they worked in the same world, covering the biggest stories in the country, but no one knew they were a couple. They kept their relationship a complete secret from their colleagues and the public. It was a romance hidden in plain sight. So when Peter announced their engagement in 2020, it sent a shockwave through the Fox News offices. People were stunned. They had worked alongside them for years and had absolutely no idea they were together. Their wedding was just as private and intimate as their courtship. They got married in April 2021 in a beautiful ceremony in South Carolina at the Montage Palmetto Bluff, a resort where Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin had also tied the knot. They had originally planned for a January wedding, but pandemic restrictions forced them to reschedule. The delay resulted in an even smaller, more personal event. Instead of a large media spectacle, they chose to share their special day with only 18 guests, their closest family and friends. Peter's father, Steve Doocy, proudly served as his best man. Photos from the outdoor reception show Peter looking sharp in a navy blue tuxedo and Hillary looking stunning in a long-sleeved wedding dress with delicate floral details. In an Instagram post, Hillary shared a photo of them cutting their cake with the caption, "Life with you takes the cake." Steve Doocy also shared photos on his own account, writing, "Welcome to the Doocy family, Hillary Vaughn. We are so happy for both of you." This intense desire for privacy created a vacuum of information around the couple. With so few details about their personal lives available, they became a blank canvas for online gossip. This lack of a public narrative allowed the false rumors about a health crisis to take root and spread as there was no official story from the couple to contradict it. Their secret love story, while romantic, accidentally created the perfect conditions for misinformation to flourish. But the truth of their family life was about to become very public in the most joyful way possible. Peter and Hillary's journey from a secret couple to a growing family has been just as remarkable as their private romance. They chose to share the news of their first pregnancy in a way that felt natural to them on live television surrounded by family. In September 2022, they appeared on Fox and Friends during a segment for a new cookbook written by Peter's parents, Steve and Kathy. As Steve was talking about the recipes, he mentioned that the food is great if you're really hungry. Peter then chimed in, pointing to his wife and saying, "And Hillary is hungry all the time." With a smile, Hillary delivered the big news. "That's because I'm eating for two." A sonogram photo then appeared on the screen and the studio erupted in celebration. Their first child, a beautiful baby girl named Bridget Blake Doocy, was born on February 1, 2023. She weighed 8 pounds 1 ounce and was 21 inches long. Hillary's journey to motherhood was anything but ordinary. In a story that showcases her incredible dedication to her career, her water broke while she was on her way to work on Capitol Hill. She later joked about the experience, saying she knew where all the offices were for senators who used to be doctors. But luckily, she didn't have to call any of them to catch the baby. Peter, meanwhile, was getting fatherly advice from the most powerful man in the world. At a White House holiday party, he asked President Joe Biden for any tips on being a new dad. The president, who was touched by the question, gave him simple but profound advice. Hold her tight. Just over 2 years later, their family grew again. Their son, George Jack Doocy, was born on April 16, 2025, which also happened to be their wedding anniversary. Incredibly, Hillary was once again balancing the demands of her job with impending motherhood right up to the last minute. Just hours before George was born, she was on Capitol Hill reporting live about tax day. She went straight from her TV report to a routine doctor's appointment where her OB told her the baby was ready to come out. Hillary joked, "Maybe he was tired of hearing me talk about taxes." I don't blame him. Today, the family of 4 lives in a beautiful 5-bedroom home in Fairfax, Virginia, which they purchased in 2023 for $1.68 million. The location is a perfect 40-minute drive from the White House, where Peter spends his days as one of the most recognized correspondents in the country. The true story of their family life is not one of sickness and struggle, but one of incredible strength. Hillary Vaughn, the woman rumored to be sidelined by a tragic illness, was in reality a powerhouse, a dedicated journalist who reported from the heart of American politics just hours before welcoming both of her children into the world. Her resilience is the real headline, a powerful truth that got lost in a sea of false rumors. But how did her husband become such a lightning rod for public attention in the first place? He is a member of a Fox News dynasty and one of the most visible and confrontational journalists in Washington, D.C. He is the eldest child of Steve Doocy, the longtime co-host of the popular morning show Fox and Friends. Growing up, Peter was surrounded by the world of television news. But his parents actually hoped he would choose a different path, perhaps business or law. But the pull of journalism was too strong. After graduating from Villanova University in 2009 with a degree in political science, he was immediately hired by Fox News, the same network where his father had become a household name. Even in college, he was already contributing to the network as a reporter for a program called FoxNews.com. From the very beginning, his father acted as his coach just as he had years earlier for Peter's middle school baseball team. Steve even volunteered to coach the team just to make sure Peter, who was on a very competitive team, would get a chance to play. In the early days of Peter's reporting career, Steve would watch every report, holding his breath for the entire 2 minutes, terrified his son would make a mistake on live TV. Afterward, Peter would call him and ask for an honest review, and Steve would give him advice, sharing the mistakes he had made so Peter could avoid them. Peter quickly carved out his own identity. He wasn't just Steve Doocy's son. He was a sharp and relentless reporter who was not afraid to ask the tough questions. His career took him to New York and Chicago before he landed in Washington, D.C. in 2010. He covered some of the biggest stories in the country, including the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting, the Boston Marathon bombing, and the manhunt for 2 escaped prisoners in Dannemora, New York. In 2014, he landed a massive exclusive, the first television interview with Robert O'Neill, the Navy SEAL who claims to have fired the shot that killed Osama bin Laden. The documentary, titled The Man Who Killed Osama bin Laden, had the highest ratings of any documentary in Fox News history at the time. But it was when he became a White House correspondent in 2021 that his star truly began to rise. He became known for his persistent and often combative questioning style during White House press briefings. His daily exchanges with press secretaries, First Jen Psaki and then Karine Jean-Pierre became must-see TV. These verbal sparring matches often went viral, featuring tense but sometimes playful back-and-forths over the administration's policies. His relentless approach led to several unforgettable moments. In January 2022, President Joe Biden was caught on a hot mic calling him a "stupid son of a bitch" after Peter shouted a question about inflation. The president later called Peter personally to clear the air, a moment that showed the unique relationship between the two. Doocy's time at the White House has been so eventful that even nature seems to have taken notice. During one live report from the White House lawn, a bird swooped down, landed on his head, and then dive-bombed him before flying away, all on live television. It is this high-profile, confrontational role that makes him a constant topic of conversation. He is a central character in the daily drama of American politics, which is why the public is so fascinated by his personal life. His professional identity as the reporter who never backs down made him the perfect target for rumors because his life, both public and private, is always under a microscope. This brings us to the final, most confusing rumor of all. The real cancer nightmare that rocked the Doocy family didn't belong to Hillary Vaughn. It belonged to Peter's mother, Kathy Garrity, the wife of Fox News anchor Steve Doocy. Her journey was a terrifying ordeal that began in the most ordinary way possible. Around 2015, Kathy and Steve went to their eye doctor for a routine exam to get new prescriptions for sunglasses. During the checkup, the doctor noticed something unusual, a small freckle on the back of Kathy's eye. He said it was probably nothing to worry about, but asked her to come back in a few months for a follow-up just to be safe. When they returned for the second exam, the mood changed instantly. The doctor took one look and knew something was wrong. He immediately referred them to a specialist who then urged them to go to one of the best eye hospitals in the country, Wills Eye Hospital in Philadelphia. A massive blizzard was shutting down the entire New York area, but that didn't stop them. At 5 in the morning, Steve and Kathy were driving on a snow-covered highway filled with a sense of dread. After a full day of tests, a top eye doctor named Carol Shields delivered the devastating news. She looked at them and said, "Kathy, you have eye cancer." The diagnosis was ocular melanoma, a very rare and deadly form of cancer. In that moment, Steve and Kathy felt like they couldn't breathe. The biggest fear was that the cancer could spread from her eye to other parts of her body, like her liver or lungs, which is often what happens with this type of cancer. Within weeks, Kathy began radiation therapy.